The Wizards traded Otto Porter to the Bulls for Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker. Bulls president of basketball operations John Paxson later explained his reasoning for the trade. And Portis gave a little running play-by-play on Twitter to Paxson's comments. First, there was Paxson saying that he didn't want to overpay Portis as a backup, to which Bobby wrote, LOL. And then a comment made by someone else on Twitter saying, quote, finding another Portis is easier than finding another Markkanen. And then Bobby wrote, they won't. So there you go. Pip, does Bobby have reason to feel slighted by the Bulls?
Well, I mean, every player has his opinion about who he is as a player.
Right.
And I'm sure Bobby feels that he is the best player. And we will find out in time which one of these players would turn out to be the best player. But it was a situation where both of these players playing the same position. I think it was best for Bobby that he moved on. And I think obviously right now Markkanen is a little bit ahead of him in terms of the NBA game. And I think the Bulls made the right choice.
You know, the Portis and the Bulls were relatively close to a contract extension last fall. And Portis got hurt. I don't know if that how much of it that had to do with it. But I felt like they probably were within range. So it was kind of surprising that they moved on. But they did that because a player came available that they had wanted for years. They had tried to trade for Otto Porter for a while. And so it wasn't so much that they didn't like Bobby Portis.
Right,
it was that they said, we can get Otto and it costs us Bobby. We want to do that as an organization. But I can understand, this is the first time Portis has been traded. I can understand he's in his feelings a little bit.
Well, we know he's a little emotional. Remember the fight with Mirotic?
Yes. I'm not fighting with Bobby Portis.
No,
I'll tell you that
absolutely.
right now.
I believe these two teams play each other tomorrow, so we'll get to see. Right, Bobby Portis will have the chance to go out.
Better get ready for that game.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you really, I mean, I don't want to start judging who would win in a back alley fight, but
I know who would win. I'm quite aware.
I think Nico Mirotic knows who would win. All right, I want to go to Portis' new team. Here's a look at the moves the Wizards made before the end of the trade deadline. They decided to hang on to Bradley Beal. Right now, Trevor Ariza is still on that roster. They still, of course, have John Wall, who's expected to be out at least 12 months with a ruptured Achilles tendon. So we know that they got under the tax.
Yes.
And that seemed to be sort of, once the Wall thing happened, they were like, okay, we're not paying the luxury tax for this team. Right. What else were they trying to do, though? Because I still can't tell. Are they trying to make the playoffs? Are they not trying to make the playoffs? Are they rebuilding? What are we doing?
Well, on one hand, in fairness to them, their entire world changed, you know, when Wall got hurt. Although we found out about it this week, but they knew about it. They knew about it for longer. This does seem like a half measure, because they left Trevor Ariza, who probably had value, on their roster.
And by the way, it's only signed to a one-year deal.
I know, and it's really going to look bad if they struggle for the next 3 weeks and Ariza requests a buyout before March 1st, puts them in a weird spot. Teams were calling them, and they were kind of frustrated that they weren't going more all in. But I will say this, they did cut $50 million from their payroll the next 2 years, and they got their owner out of the tax this year, and they can at least look at their team and say, we can keep Ariza if we want to. We can keep Bobby Portis if we want to. And they gave themselves an opportunity to get better. Thomas Satoransky is a free agent. I kind of understand it, but I also understand why people are scratching their heads.
I mean, I think that they realize that they missed this window opportunity. Right. LeBron James has left the East, and we know that the Wizards have always challenged them in terms of playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. But now I feel like Porter was part of that sort of big three, and now that window with Wall getting hurt has sort of vanished away for them. So now they have to look down 2-3 years down the road, and I think Porter, with the money that he had on their salary cap, wasn't going to be that third piece that they need.
But but Ariza isn't even 5 minutes down the road, you know. So.
Well, but Scotty's right. How many times did John Wall and Bradley Beal look at me, look at you in the face and say, we are going to beat the Cavs, we are going to challenge LeBron James? And I always love the bravado, personally. I mean, I grew up in Washington, and there were a lot of teams where nobody on that team thought that they could win much of anything. So that was exciting to have someone who thought they could do something, but they never did.
If Washington was healthy this season, they would be the team come out of the East.